All right, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. We are to discuss the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders. It's going to be a great matchup, so let's jump right into it. I just want to show this quick, and let's move these out of the way real quick. We have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders, of course, like I said. And the nice thing about them is that they've had this meetup before, so you can see the Carolina Hurricanes currently hold a record in playoff series against the Islanders in the last two times. So they're 2-0, and the first time they beat the Islanders in 2019, and did it with a 4-0 sweep in the second round. And in the first round last year, it was a 4-2 victory over for the Carolina Hurricanes. So it's not looking too promising for these Islanders, but I want to jump into some of the details and what my pick is for this. So stick around to see what it is. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, comment, and emoji. My favorite right now is a poop emoji or a chicken emoji. This helps me as a small creator, and I appreciate it. So if you want to see more, I'll be doing previews for every round and every team as well. So and you can check out my bracket challenge that I did at the end of the video. So jumping onto this. So we'll go into the Carolina Hurricanes real quick. You got Aho with 89 points. Aho, of course, with 36 goals. Aho with 53 assists. I don't know if you know this. Aho is an important piece of this team, and he will probably be captain after Jordan Staal leaves. So we have Brendan Lemieux is kind of their tough guy, and of course Aho is their plus or minus leader. One of the important things to notice with the Carolina Hurricanes is I like to show his time on ice. With their guys, they don't overload too many of them. Some guys are running like 25 minutes because there's teams that can only rely on these certain guys. The nice thing about the Islanders is they run four lines. And so you can see you have Burns. He's running a lot of power play, right? I always forget to say his name. Anyways, Slavin is your penalty kill guy. You have Brett Pesce as well. Aho. These guys aren't really going over 20 minutes. You can see this. And so that's kind of one of the huge parts is they're able to utilize four lines, which is why I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to do really well, not only in the series but in the playoffs. And then going to the points, again, you're not seeing one guy. I mean, clearly Aho is your guy at this point, but really there's a lot of good points spread over here, right? Look at you have how many guys? 2, 4, 7, 7 guys who are over 40 points, so over half a point per game. So if you look at Svechnikov, even 59. I mean, Svechnikov would be higher if he played more than 59 games. So we know he should be back, I believe, for the. I have to check. I can't confirm that, but I do think the Carolina Hurricanes are the ones that are going to go far. They were going up against the Rangers for the Metro or the Eastern Conference title for the not only the President's Trophy but also the title. I think they were only 3 points behind, and they were all like overtime losses. So again, you have a great stacked team that's going to be doing very well. And again, their top guys aren't even playing a ton of too much minutes, right? You have 16 minutes for Teravainen. You know, Natchez put him 19 minutes. Jarvis is having a monster season. He's going to be an excellent player. And so I have a lot of faith in the Carolina Hurricanes in this sense. One thing I want to also talk about is their goaltending. Their goaltending depth, similar to running four lines, is they have a lot of goaltenders that they're able to utilize, right? When it comes to the playoffs, you usually have one guy that you can rely on, and they have multiple goalies that they can rely on, right? You have their younger goalie, Kochetkov, who played majority of the games, put up a .91, which is .911, which is above average, of course. And then you have Ranta, who will probably be their third goalie in this case. He played a good chunk of the season, but again, he's probably not going to rely on him. But the big winner for them is they're going to be reliant on Freddie Anderson. Now, Freddie Anderson went out with a blood clot injury. He went out with a blood clot at the start of the year, and came back recently in the last couple of games. And I do want to show his stats real quick because I think this is important. So over here, you can see he's only played 16 games, I believe. Yeah, 16 games. But one of the things that has plagued Eddie Freddie Anderson since the start of his career, playing with Toronto as well as playing with Carolina Hurricanes, is they was overutilized, and that caused a lot of injury. And then by the time you overutilize in the regular season, and then by the time you get to the playoffs, you're like, oh well, this goalie's all beat up. He needs time to take off, but you can't because it's the playoffs. So, not saying the blood clot was a good thing, with the blood clot ended up allowing him to take some time off, be healthy for the playoffs. As you can see, his last 5 games as well, putting up a two. Or let's scroll down. Let me scroll down a little for you guys. You can see his last 5 games: 2-1 victory over Toronto, 4-0 against Detroit. He lost to Boston, but that's Boston. One of the best. I think they're one of the best teams. I think they won the Atlantic, so that's a pretty good team there. Beat the Columbus Blue Jackets, beat the St. Louis Blues, right? So you're seeing these a lot of good wins in this case. So again, putting up great save percentages besides the one against Boston. And of course, you can see his stats for the year. Again, only 16 games, but that means he's well rested. Putting under 2 goals a game, that is phenomenal. Again, that also helps that Carolina has an amazing defensive scheme. A .932 percentage. If he had that all year, he probably win the Vezina. And again, 13-2-0. I mean, 13 wins with 3 of those being shutouts. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's exactly the type of kind of goalie with that dynamic power in the playoffs that you'd want to see. So again, I have a lot of faith in the Carolina Hurricanes. Moving over to the New York Islanders. Again, similar, you kind of have a guy who's leading at Barzal with, well, you get a little more spread, I'd say. You have Barzal leading in highest in points, right? 80 point per game player, 80 points in 80 games. Goals, got 34 for Nelson. Good for Nelson, by the way, Brock Nelson. Noah Dobson with 60 assists. Again, a great asset to them. You have Anders Lee and you have Romanov. So, but to me, with a team like this, with Nelson, and also trading for Horvat last year, 68 points in 81 games, not too bad. Similar distribution. They actually have a similar style where a lot of the time on ice is divvied up. But you have some guys like Noah Dobson who run a lot, right? I think he plays power play and penalty kill. So you're seeing there's the issue there is that you kind of rely on one defenseman, and that can happen with teams who don't have a lot of defense spread out, right? But you can see there's quite a good distribution here, but they really rely on Pollock and Dobson. So if one of those guys goes down or starts to suffer from injuries, can't go as fast or whatever, that can be a huge issue for the Islanders, and that's kind of again that's not where the Carolina Hurricanes don't have that issue. They don't have one guy they can rely. They have one guy they can rely on for each position, right? Like you have Brent Burns who you rely on for the power play, but there are guys that can fill in as well, right? But they kind of you have one guy for a penalty kill, you have one guy. You're not just relying on this one pair like we see Dobson and Pollock doing. So hopefully they can rely on Romanov a little bit more, but again, he's not putting up a ton of points, 22 points in 81 games. That's not typically his game. So, based on even the stats right here, if you kind of go to where they have right at the top right here, you can see 39, 27, and 16. Third in the Metropolitan. Although only 39 wins, I'm not confident because you see the Carolina Hurricanes, 52 wins. And they were one place away from each other in the Metro Division. You got Carolina. It's Carolina. I mean, it's not even a question. I mean, and even going to the Islanders, going to their goaltending, just to kind of show you, they really, again, less depth there. You have Sorokin and Varlamov, and who are both phenomenal goalies. Sorokin signed that 8-year deal that was last year. Put 52 games in, 25 wins, not even winning half of them, unfortunately. .909 save percentage, but having most of the better matchups, being that he's working the harder games. Less than Frederick Anderson and less than Kochetkov. And Varlamov is looking at a better number here of .918. But again, you're kind of putting him against the weaker teams. You're putting him against teams like, Ottawa, or you have like just lower tier teams, whereas San Jose, where you can kind of give Sorokin a rest in those cases. So a little bit, and he's a little bit older, and it sounds like Sorokin is not going to be starting because there may be an injury there. So again, that also is the huge thing, is that the Islanders rely such on the defensive scheme that your goaltending looks better. You're running a great defense, but if your goaltending is not there as well, that can cause an issue. So I do have Carolina winning this in 5 games, 4-1, and I can see Islanders maybe squeaking one out because, again, good goaltending. But again, I just don't see them being the what needs to be to go far in these playoffs, right? Carolina, I just think, is a better team, and I think Carolina can go further because they're versus an easier team in the Islanders. There's a ton of hits though. That I think they have two of the top five hits in the league. So again, there's a great team here in the Islanders, but again, to me, they're just not prepared for a playoff run. So again, I do have Carolina going, and I'm excited to see how they play. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun, and let me know what your thoughts are. I'll be doing previews on all the videos, so let me know what your thoughts are. Hit the comment, put a chicken emoji. That's my fun one right now. Go Cox, right? Crack myself up. Anyways, love you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe, and catch me in the next one. Bye.